Thank you. Thank you. Class of 2019, you guys look amazing. Amazing. Dean Vickroy, esteemed professors, FEMA president, Michael Epperson, parents, grandparents, friends, people that wandered off the side of the road. Thank you. Thank you for being here to witness the immense amount of work that has led up to this one moment. In fact, graduates, I ask you to now stand up, turn around, and give your friends and family a round of applause for what they have supported you through. Now, graduates, give yourselves a round of applause, because through all the support you've had, you've each made the decision day after day to keep going. You've made the choice, to stick it out, right? Not to drop out, to study just one more hour, to check on that patient just one more time. And here you are, you finally did it. So now to the good stuff. It is truly the greatest honor of my life thus far, more than any other award, to be standing up here right now, talking with you all. And sharing it with me are my parents beside me, just like they've been for 37 years, my niece and nephews, Jack, James, and Samantha, my amazing husband, my children, my children are Baron and Collins, my husband is Dominic. And he's actually outside with our 6-week-old baby, Lion. Yeah. I never would have thought that I would be elected by you amazing colleagues to stand up here 10 years after my own graduation. If someone were to come up to me while I was walking the halls of the hospital and tell me that I would be up here giving your commencement address, I would first hug them for no other reason, honestly, than it meant I actually passed. So seeing beyond the completion of my degree at that time was simply impossible. I had no idea what life held or really what I wanted to do with that degree. All I knew is that for almost my entire life, the answer to that question, what do you want to be when you grow up, was simple: a veterinarian. I didn't really have much of a vision of what that actually meant on the other side. And even upon my graduation, my ambitions while I was sitting in your seat were very, very simple. Pay back my student loans eventually, remember the dose of Clavamox, have a family, and live a life that I was generally happy with. I imagine most of you are in that boat as well. Well, my friends, luckily you don't have to face reality for another 2 hours or so. I figured you'd go out to lunch or something after this, right? But reality will be heading your way very, very soon. You will start your jobs, you will acclimate yourself to a new working environment, and some of you may find yourselves unhappy with your position. If there's one piece of advice you can take from my short time up here, it's this: you are in charge of what happens next. If you're unhappy, it's not veterinary school's fault. If you're not making enough money, it's not your boss's fault. And if you're feeling burned out, it's not your client's fault. It's like being mad at the gym because you haven't lost weight, right? Everything that happens from here on out is on you. And the crazy thing is that it's actually been on you the entire time. You see, you cannot walk across the stage and accept your diploma and expect the land of honey and gold to open up to you. It won't, trust me. The hard work you've put into your life thus far cannot, will not, and must not stop now. The world needs you, your profession needs you, and this college needs you. They need you to stand up and deliver back to your gifts and deliver back to society your gifts, even if you don't yet know what those gifts actually are. 10 years ago, when I was in your seat, the economy was crashing. Veterinary clinics stopped hiring, fearing pet owners would stop spending money at their hospitals. Many of my classmates actually graduated without jobs. I graduated with a part-time job because my full-time position went to another classmate. And yet, looking back, I firmly believe that the lack of opportunities available to me during that first formative year cleared my path for new ideas. As you know, graduates, just 3 months after I began my life as a veterinarian, I was inspired to start a business after a client requested that I leave her pet on her lap during her euthanasia. In the 9.5 years since Lap of Love was started, we have helped over 150,000 families and earning us a place on the Inc. 5000 award. But more importantly, personally, my company and this profession have blessed me over and over again. My student loans are long paid off. I promise it can happen. My family is spiritually and emotionally happy, and I absolutely love my work. But remember this, I had no idea that that was happening when I was sitting in your seat. And as I look at each of you, the class of 2019, I wonder which of you will be part of movements, innovations, changes, new ideas, new businesses in our profession. Which of you will be standing up here in 10 years, talking to the class of 2029? You see, I have a particular interest in your success. You may not know this, but along with the countless family and friends and professors in this room, I was part of the academic admissions board that reviewed your applications, performed your interviews, and ultimately approved your acceptance into the University of Florida College of Veterinary Medicine. To say I'm not proud of you, and even more honored to be up here, would be like saying Dr. Pablo doesn't know how to put together a PowerPoint presentation. So as you exit academia and enter the real world, there are two main characteristics I'd like you to remember that set you apart from most of the population. The first is high intellect. Yes, you are each very smart. And from here on out, no one will care as much about how smart you are, but how you are smart. Will you listen to those around you? Would you put the needs of your clients and patients above your own opinions? Will you see opportunities that no one else sees? Will you push forward, even when you're scared? See, despite your extensive education, surprisingly, you don't know everything. Right now, you can recall all the clotting factors, you can identify interstitial lung patterns, and you even know what pharmacodynamics actually means, right? There will be many things you don't yet know, however, that will be the key to your success in the future. For example, I actually wanted to give you guys a couple of things I've Googled over the past 10 years since my graduation. Is grain-free dog food actually better, right? What is a business plan? How to read financial statements. What is a financial statement? What is compound interest? And what does commencement actually mean? Had I listened to the numerous people that told me Lap of Love would never become a viable business, I may not be here talking to you today. Had I not thought there must be a better way, I may not have a life that I could have only imagined 10 years ago. Intelligence, you see, also means learning from your mistakes. And yes, I've had a few of those. The first came freshman year of veterinary school when I procrastinated my study time away. I'm sure none of you know what that means, right? And failed nutrition. Sorry, Dr. Hill. I'm told every time I tell that story to a class, your nutrition grades jump. But I repeated my freshman year and ultimately spending 5, not 4 years in veterinary school. But it didn't end there. I failed my first board exam, failed to get the job I really wanted. I failed to wire the down payment to our house to the right bank account a few years ago. It went to a hacker's account instead. I even failed to get to lunch on time this afternoon. And on my third night as a doctor, I injected a dog with 8 milliliters of Benadryl instead of 0.8 milliliters. He lived, if you were wondering, all is well. But my gosh, there are so many more failures. And each time, instead of crumbling, dropping out, or giving up, I applied the lessons I learned to ensure those mistakes never happened again. I don't know about the not being on time for lunch, though. That may happen again. Failure is here, I've learned, to humble and inspire us. And I assure you, most of my greatest achievements have come from the lessons I learned from my greatest failures. So to me, the ability to learn and relearn is what intelligence actually is. In addition to high intellect, you each have something else that is unique, something that sets you apart from most of society. And no, it's not the slight odor of formaldehyde following you around since freshman year, or the brown stains on your clothes since farms rotation. It's the ability to delay gratification, sacrificing your time and money in the moment for a greater payoff down the road. This is called grit. It's a trend of excellence, an attitude that makes you put your head down and keep studying, even when the coffee has run out and your brain is telling you can't force one more piece of information in. It's a trend of good decision-making. You may think that this payoff is what you've been waiting for comes now when you walk across the stage. And yes, to an extent, that's true. But if you want to be happy for decades to come, not just in this moment, I beg you to enjoy your success without changing your work ethic. For example, your class will graduate with an estimated $150,000 in student debt. 1 in 5 of you will graduate with over $200,000 in debt. Sure, you're a doctor, but at this moment, you're broke doctors. But here's the deal. Your average starting salary will be around $80,000. If you live within your means, just like you've been doing for 4 years, apply your signing bonus to student debt, keep driving that old car, don't finance furnitures or rack up student credit cards, you could actually pay off your student loans in 4 to 5 years. Really think about that for a moment. If you kept living the way you've been living for just 4 more years, like spending like a student instead of like a doctor, you could negate the #1 complaint our profession has right now, mounting student debt. Yes, that means sacrificing big vacations and fancy cars, but I hope you value the happiness being debt-free can bring you more than you value luxuries that will keep you living paycheck to paycheck. Even rich people live paycheck to paycheck. Come on, you guys are way smarter than that. So to help you remember that it's possible, I brought you each a small gift. This metal card is the size of a credit card, okay? With our veterinary caduce on one side and my favorite quote on the other, dreams don't work unless you do. So I hope you take this card, place it in your wallet where your most used credit card usually goes, and every time you think about charging something that might delay your ability to pay back your student loans or live the life you truly dreamt about, I want you to remember that those dreams don't work unless you have grit and determination to make them work. And amazingly, this first dream of becoming a veterinarian has finally come true. So today, as you prepare to add these cherished 2 letters in front of your name, I wish for you both comfort and discomfort. Comfort enough to inspire hope and discomfort enough to motivate change. And at night, I hope you take Denzel Washington's advice to put your slippers, or let's make it your cell phone, way under your bed before you go to sleep. That way, you will begin your days and end your days on your knees, thankful for what you have. I also hope you share your talents with the world, that you won't hide the fact that you're a veterinarian simply because you don't want to see those puppy photos. And I hope every day you will choose to speak up, show up, stand up, lean in, sit in, vote, help, volunteer, lend a hand, offer your hand, and that you will radically transform whatever moment you are in because you're a veterinarian. And lastly, I hope you always remember that dreams don't work unless you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Dani. That was a wonderful message. I think not only for the graduates in here, but for everybody in attendance. It is my pleasure to present to you a gift of appreciation. It says small gift, but you'll see in a minute that's not really true. A gift of appreciation from the class of 2019 to thank you for being here and sharing this day with them. Please come forward. For you.